What's up, Besties? I'm Kristen McGuire, the voice of Melina, the Demon Lord! Welcome to the Besties for Resties slime panel. Are you guys excited? I think you can be a little more excited for that. Are you ready to meet our Lord and Savior, Reincarnated Brittney Karbowski?
What's up, my guy?
Yay, welcome to our slime panel. We are so excited to be here and see all of your wonderful cosplays. We're just gonna go ahead and start this thing. If you guys have any questions, please line up at this microphone, conveniently placed in the center of the room. You don't have to raise your hand, you just go to the microphone. Please limit yourself to one question at a time until we get through everyone, and then if there's time we can do second questions. I also wrote the scripts for the series, so if you have any questions about that, you can totally let us know. Other than that, let's do it. Let's do it! Yay!
Testing.
Hi!
Testing.
We hear you.
Okay. How did you two get your roles?
That's a good question.
I auditioned and was cast.
I did not audition, but Malene didn't come in until episode 16. And at that point, I'd already been working pretty closely with the director on the scripts. And so I knew about Malene for a really long time. Like, she was in the opening, being teased all the time. So when she finally came in, I was really excited. But I was like, nah, I'll never be cast as Malene, because I typically don't get cast as those really, like, spunky, high-energy characters. Quite a lot of lesbians. So usually I'm, like, the best friend that's in love with the main character. Which I guess is still kind of true. So that is, but then I got cast, and I was really surprised, and I was really nervous, because I was afraid that, like, people were gonna hate it. But no, everyone's been, like, really open and amazing and wonderful. So, and I get to act across from one of my best friends.
And because she was awesome sauce.
Did get to write a lot of really fun lines for you.
All the best ones.
Yeah.
All the best ones. I'm always saying that. I'm always like, and this was written by Kristen. She also is Malene. And she wrote it, and she's responsible for this line.
What is your favorite line that you got to say in the series?
Okay, I can't say my favorite one so far because it was from the most recent one, and it was whenever Benny Maru thought that he was going to be clever.
Oh.
And Rimuru is backed up by Raphael's supercomputer. I mean, how'd you think you were going to win that one? But that one's really funny. That one, yeah. But it has words that are not appropriate for all ages. Other than that, I really like It's All Good in the Goblin Hood, and Besties for Resties, and Come At Me, Bro! That one was fun. But there's a whole, honestly, I have so many. I'll ask people, I'll be like, what do you want me to write on this? And they give them way too many options.
I really like the, hey diddle diddle one.
Yes! Yes! There is no fiddle.
Yeah, the writing is one of my favorite parts. And with Rimuru, we can definitely, like, have that freedom because he's from another world. So.
All the funness.
All the funness. Oh, thank you, Corey.
Excuse me?
Hi.
Why the Demon Lord?
Why the Demon Lord?
Yes, that's my question.
What the Demon Lord? I'm not sure what the question is.
I'm saying, why did you be the Demon Lord?
Why did I become a Demon Lord?
Yeah.
Because when you're a Demon Lord, you can make up really cool moves and use whatever name you want, and people will want to shout it.
Oh.
That's actually a line from Slime Diaries.
Yes! Yes! And the part where Colleen thinks that a move was made up, but
yeah,
it wasn't
you can
made
just
up.
make it up. Thank you so much for your question. everyone knows you can just say whatever you want. Demon Lord. Also, if you guys have questions not relating to the series, that is totally cool too. We're just here to chill and vibe on this awesome couch. So feel free to ask any questions you want. Brittney's been in a lot of really awesome things. I'm sure you have lots of burning questions for her.
As have you.
So, thank you, Corey. Corey's doing great, everybody.
So, because you wrote it, and then, you're both part of it, how many times did you just, lose your stuff, laughing at whatever you were either writing or whatever you were saying?
Too many. I feel like there's so many times when Cliff's like, get it together. Get it together, Karbowski. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this was so funny.
While writing it, I very rarely, as much as I admit to myself, I've never just had a moment like, oh my god, I'm so hilarious, I just need to laugh at myself for 20 minutes. I've never done that by myself. But I have laughed pretty hard, hearing the final result. There's, back when this was allowed, it's not really allowed anymore, we used to leave bombs. And bombs are basically where you record something that's not the line for the person that's coming in after you. So instead of hearing the line, they'll hear something completely unrelated. And Brittney left me a lot of really inappropriate ones that I can't repeat here, but they were really funny. The bat? I could be a bat? It's pretty tame. It's pretty tame.
So the introduction of Malim, we thought it would be very funny to leave a bomb where Rimuru was hitting on Malim. So Rimuru's like,
you like bats? I could be a bat.
I could be a spider.
You can turn into anything.
It was fun. Yeah, but it went on for a whole scene. Sometimes it's just one line, and it was and so I'm responding, but at this point I'm I'm not even responding with the real line. I'm yeah, I do like bats. Bats are awesome. They're so cute. But of course they didn't record any of that, so we were just laughing and having a good time with it.
I wish y'all could have enjoyed it as much as us, because it was really wonderful.
I think one of my favorite things that's made me laugh out loud recently for slime is those slimy, rotten names.
Yes, that was good. I also thought, we're talking about Slime Diaries, guys, if you guys haven't been able to check out the dub, but there's also a part where Malim thinks that Rimuru made up a move. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it is so adorable, and it's really funny. The confusion there is golden. Slime Diaries takes place after the Orc War, but before season 2, so it's almost like a comedy slice of life. It's not necessarily canon, all the characters, but it is really enjoyable, and there's a lot of very fun and loving moments. It's very feel-good.
Yeah.
Y'all should super check it out. I think that we've had so much fun recording it.
Airing now on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, check it out.
Thank you for that question. Yes.
Have you ever watched the sub of an anime and then tried out for a character you really wanted and got, or are you mostly on the audition and grind?
Yes. So, I watched the sub of Magical Girl Raising Project, which is a really great show about magical girls, and if you like magical girls and murder, then it's a great show for you. I always describe it as Sailor Moon meets the Hunger Games. But I watched the sub of it, and I binged it in a day. I emerged from my apartment the sun. And I loved it, and then I found out that we were going to dub it, and I was supposed to assistant direct the show with Sunny Straight and write the scripts. And we cast it, and we were all excited, and I was this show's gonna be so tight. And the day before we were supposed to start recording, they're hey, we lost the license to it. And I mourned it. I was so sad. I loved that show so much. And then I accepted a full-time writing job at Funimation, and so I could no longer direct. And I was writing, and about a year later, we got our list of shows, and Magical Girl Racing Project was back on it. And so I slammed open the door to my supervisor's office. I was I know everything there is to know about Magical Girl Racing Project. I have to write this show, and I will fight for it. And they were Kristen, nobody else has asked for it. I was cool. They're we'll keep you in mind. Yeah, and so of course I got to write it, And I was like, well, I'm still sad that I won't get to be in it, but at least I get to write it. And then they did auditions for it, and I auditioned for it, and I actually got to play a character that I really wanted to play the first time I watched it, but we cast it, so I knew I wasn't playing that character. But now that it was in a new director's hands, there were new auditions. And I got to play Tama, who is a magical dog girl, which is like, if you know me, animal girls are like my favorite thing in the whole world. So yeah, that's an example. Have you ever had that moment? Has there been a character that you're like, I want this?
I haven't really, and I think that what it was is, by the time that there was like accessible material for me to actually watch a show was when we were doing simuldub. So the first time that I would hear about it was in the audition. At that point, all I can see online is like, you know, trailers.
Has there ever been anything that just like spoke to you?
I mean, lots of stuff where I'm like, this could be a thing, but I don't know. I always, I feel like I just look at them as because I am not a director and I don't like really ever get to see the giant picture of things. I always just am like, this would be a really good thing if it happened, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And
You're so professional about it. I'm such a nerd
I'm
about it.
I wish that I could see, like, the only time anything like that has ever happened was when it's because, like, a long time ago I saw Vampire Hunter D, of course, like, I'm aging myself. And that had a re-release on Blu-ray, and Sentai redubbed it. And so I did get to be part of that, which was kind of, that's probably the only time that that's happened, but I was Princess Lamia.
Oh, I was like, were you the hand demon? Because that would have been funny.
No, that would have been funny. And then call back to me. No, but so that's probably the only time that I had actually been able to see something beforehand. I just never really had access to the materials because before we started doing simuldubs, there was no place to watch them.
Yeah.
And then I never was in a studio environment to where I would know what was going on before things were going on, if that makes any sense. Because actors find out about it right before it's being cast.
It is harder when you're a writer and you're like writing a show and you're like, I love this character. Maybe I'll get to be it. And then you're like, you're not it. You're like, well, I will go cry in a corner, but keep writing the show because that's my job.
I recently heard about Alter Gaia and Don't Hurt My Healer because someone was like, I was going in to record it, but I didn't know what I was doing. Somebody was like, aren't you the mushroom? I was like, so I know I'm playing a mushroom. That's pretty much it. It was just that.
There was one time that they announced the cast for Fuka, and I had a recording session that day, but I hadn't actually recorded anything yet, and I was on the cast announcement, and I was like, surprise! Like, I guess I'm in Fuka. Like, neat. When you find out the announcement, you're like, cool, I got cast. Awesome. What is your question?
I just wanted to know, what are some tips or advice that you give to aspiring voice actors?
Oh.
I think for me, my most valuable piece of advice is that when you get your big shot and you get your audition, is to be yourself, because only you can play that character. Yeah.
My advice is very practical. Take classes. When I got into voice acting, the last acting experience I had was from high school theater, which has been 10 years prior. Yeah. I feel like I just aged myself. So I didn't know anything about voice acting, and while the experience I had from theater helped me get through the door, it took 1.5 years for me to actually book a reoccurring character. And it was like 1 year in before I realized that the reason why that was is because I sucked. Like, it's true. Like, I was doing auditions, but I wasn't booking them, and then I looked around and I realized that the people I'm auditioning against are professional voice actors that do commercials or they do theater. It was all people that are still active actors, whereas I was just someone that was like, oh, I want to try out because I like anime and I think it'd be fun. And it was fun, but I had to start treating it like a career if I wanted to be successful. And once I had that realization and started putting in the work, started taking classes, started taking improv and things like that, I started booking roles. And so I always tell people, like, it sounds like a cop-out to be like, oh, take classes, but like that really is just such an important thing. It'll teach you the technical aspect of things, it'll teach you how to think of things differently, you can learn from the other people in your class as they act. So those are my suggestions. Also, free resources on iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. It sounds made up, but it's not.
Okay, since your characters in the series have a lot of really fun interactions, whether Rimuru scolding Millen for being stupid or being careless, or you get the idea.
Being
the
a meme.
I'm not judging. But anyway, with all that, do you have any like ones that stand out to you the most that you just enjoyed, like just performing or doing together that just hilarious? You just couldn't stop laughing afterwards. I know you mentioned the theme, special move one from Slime Diaries, but just curious.
I think one of my favorite Maline and Rimuru moments is actually in Slime Diaries, and it's the moment where he's giving her a piggyback ride, and she kind of warns him about the future, and she's like very real with him. It's not funny at all, but I really enjoyed our acting together in that scene because it was very real. So
Yeah, I feel like that's the most that Malim ever opened up
yeah,
to Rimuru. She has been a mystery that I can't wait to find out about. Like, but they always allude, like in the art, with the, you know, in the intro, and they show like, you know, the dragon and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of alluding to stuff that's all mystery to us so far.
she's 2000. There's a lot of history there. Which I hope I look that good at 2000.
But you know what? It's pretty wholesome with the present in Slime Diaries. Whenever, like, I feel like it's a spoiler. I'm trying to like figure out. There's a Santa thing and a present thing.
Oh yeah.
And Malim doesn't understand how good you have to be to get a present from Santa. But Rimuru has such a soft spot that Rimuru makes it happen even though Malim is not good. And I don't know, it kind of, I don't know. It's very sweet.
I do hope that if we get a season 3 that we'll get more Maline Rimuru moments now that she's not under a spell.
I imagine it has to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also I would just say how cool it is that Malim just like let someone punch her because she could literally demolish them. So
Yeah. That's restraint.
Right there.
That's her showing what restraint looks like.
Until honey. You have restraint until honey.
I should have gone.
Thank you for that question.
Hello, this is something I'm pretty curious about. Who do you think will win in a fight between Rimuru and Einzelgone?
I don't know. Oh, I'm just from Overlord.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough
I'm
with
not.
eyes
Yeah, I'm not.
to tell you.
The biased part of me wants to say Rimuru.
I would go with that too, considering it is literally our power.
Yeah. See, Rimuru can predator anything.
He could eat eyes.
Literally. Just doom eyes to listening to Veldora drone on and on in his stomach.
Ifri would be like, yay, a new friend.
Oh, hello there, niece.
Hello there, uncle.
And my bestie for Resty, Rimuru.
It's bosom buddy. I don't know why you keep trying to make Bestie for Rusty happen, but I wrote the show. I know what you said.
But I gave him his powers.
But I gave him his lines. What is your question, Uncle?
Okay, niece, here's my question. It's a question regarding to the Slime Diaries.
Okay.
And I want this, what do you think of the relationship between Gel and the little goblin girl?
Is that not the most pure thing you've ever seen in the whole entire world?
So wholesome.
With her little like pigtail, and she's like just always around. She's so cute, and she's played by Bryn April, so she's like this little squeaky tiny voice. So cute. It's so cute.
Love it.
What is, besides yourself, what is your favorite character in the series? Because mine are the lizard men. Like the trio of lizard men. I love them. Like, they're so good and wholesome. They're like ride or die. Like,
They're so annoying in Slime Diaries,
I love them so much. They are my favorite characters.
The songs. Oh.
In season 2, when they all meet up again after the barrier's down, like I cried while writing that scene. I was like, they're just all so happy that they're all safe, and that's really pure. And then Soka's like, oh my god. I'm like, stop it. Let them feel their feelings.
I feel like I have a soft spot for Dog Tub. I really like those like just idiots. I like characters that are idiots.
But I feel like season 1 and 2, I felt so bad for Gapta all the time. I was like, that's the only one that Rimuru gives the short end of the stick. Out of all the characters, Rimuru is so fair to everyone until Gapta. It's like, oh, I just left him hanging upside down, no big deal. You know, he's like, or the food with Shion's food, and Gapta has to eat it. But then when you see Slime Diaries, you're like, oh, this is why. This is why.
Hello, lady.
Yeah, because he's
Ryan
terrible
Reynolds
in
is
that.
so funny as that character.
No! But yeah, so I think I just enjoy that hilarious interaction. But I don't know, I'm kind of an indecisive person with favorites anyway. But, because I like, I like different characters for different reasons. I feel like we've gotten to see a lot of Shuna that's very funny.
Yeah.
In Diaries, like these
And
moments.
In season 2, she has that like really cool moment where she fights Adam.
Yeah, she's become a lot more dimensional of a character, and
Yeah.
I like them. I like facets.
I left a note for season 2 when they were fighting all the fingers and they fought Yamza, and I was like, he would be the middle finger. He's got that energy.
So true.
Bryson left this bomb when he falls down at one point when he's fighting. He falls down. He goes, I fell on my keys. So funny. What is your question?
When working on scripts for currently running anime, how much do you get to work with?
You mean like from the translation?
Yeah, the translations, the animation things we get from currently running shows.
So how it works is we get translation. The translation is the subtitles. Like when you read, if you watch something subbed, which honestly, if you watch something subbed, I do not care. Go for it, because anime is for everyone, and everybody deserves to enjoy it. So if you watch it subbed, more power to you. Those subtitles is the translation. What I do want to tell people is that subtitles are also just an adaptation. Because a lot of the times, the subtitles are limited by how many characters they can have on a screen. So it can't go over like, I'm gonna say like 2 lines. So if I am fortunate, I will get a translation that has notes that's like, hey, this is the full translation, but this is all we can fit on the screen. So then I'll have like a little extra information. I do not always get that. Actually, most of the time I don't get that. So if it's available, I look towards the source material. So I have a lot of slime. I have a lot of slime. I would look between the manga and the light novel, and if I needed to fill extra flaps, which are the mouth movements, I would use that to fill in the blanks of like, okay, this is what's being said, but sometimes by the time I plugged in the translation to see like how much room we have left in flaps that I have to fill, like I'll have a whole sentence. But I can't just make something up, because that's not how that works. So I have to find a way to add to those sentences without story, and that's where the light novel and stuff like that comes in. So we get translation. Depending on the translator, it's either really good or it's fine. Translation is a really hard job, and I have a lot of respect for the people that do that. But they don't have to match flaps, and I do. Otherwise, it looks like an old kung fu movie. And I don't want you guys to be subject to that. So I have to match flaps. I have to match mouth shapes. Like if their mouth's just hanging open at the end. In Japanese, Malim ends all of her sentences with no da, which means that a lot of her flaps are just like, which would be really annoying if I just did it like that. So I have to I'll put like Rimuru on the end, or I basically just have to make sure it ends with a vowel sound to justify her mouth being open at the end. It's like playing Tetris, but with words. So that is how that comes about for that. So I hope that answered your question. You like disappeared back into the crowd. Oh, there you are. I wanted to make eye contact with you, like, thank you for your question. Yeah, it was a good one.
We had to go back.
Yes.
To not hold up the line or whatever.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hi, so I have separate but similar questions for both of you about your work on Made in Abyss.
Oh, nice.
For Brittney, when you came back to record the movie, how much, I guess, easier was it to handle all of the just absolutely crazy and tragic stuff that happens in the series? And for Kristen, how much familiarity did you have with the series or your character, if any, when you came in for auditions and eventually recording?
So if you guys haven't seen Made in Abyss, I'm Nanachi in Made in Abyss. It is tragic, and it is not for children. So
Despite its really cute art style.
Yes, dude, it's not for kids. But I actually would say that it was more difficult. Because reliving the pain of that scene multiple times was extremely hard. You know, when you're acting and you're in the booth, it's kind of like you're putting on a coat. You take it off when you leave. You just putting on different jackets. But sometimes you're so affected by what was happening in that moment and where you had to be in that moment in order to give a good performance that you kind of get wrapped up in it. And Made in Abyss is one of those jackets that's really hard to take off after you leave the booth. It's just so sad and tragic, and I think everyone can relate to losing a loved one. Almost every person has some kind of experience in that vein. And definitely the older you get, the more experiences you have that you could come back to and relate to in that moment that it might be hard to take the jacket off. So, and now we're doing season 2 and we just had another moment like that. And I'm quite emotional lately and I called my husband in the car like bawling because it reminds me of things. But yeah, so I'd say more difficult every time you do it. Just more painful.
It's true, you know, she sits next to me in the dealer's room, and every time you guys give her a gift, she cries.
Like ugly cry?
It's like really sweet and pure and wonderful, but she's always like, look at what they gave me! That's like a keychain. That's so cute.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not
It's so sweet, I love it. I knew about Made in Abyss. I didn't audition for it. They just sort of cast me. And luckily I knew enough about it to kind of know what I was in for. What I didn't expect was that Pocono was such an important character. Because I've only just started recently working with Sentai, so I was a little surprised and flattered that they were like, oh, you're going to be kind of one of the main characters this season. And I was like, oh, okay. I knew about Made in Abyss and that it was going to be tough. Luckily, Pocono is she's pretty soft-spoken, so she's at least not hard on my voice. And she's a narrator for a lot of things. So I get 1, no flaps, act away. And 2, I get to say like a lot of the lines, because she ends a lot of the episodes with her like narration and be like, and then stuff was bad. Like, you know, so I get a lot of cool lines, and we just recently did some of her deeper backstory work, and it was really sad, and like I cried in the booth, and Kyle was like, "You made Jonathan cry," and I was like, "Good." And luckily we didn't have to do too much of it over again, but it's been even though shows like that are sometimes hard emotionally, as an actor, it's very fulfilling, especially in anime. So many of our roles are just like, oh no, my boobs have superpowers, you know, those are fun, you know, but we don't get to do a lot of the like deep acting that as actors, as performers, you know, we enjoy. It's fun to make people cry. Yeah. So yeah, my experience has been, I'm just really flattered to be a part of such an amazing show. So, especially because I wasn't expecting it at all.
Very cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Question is just like, how do you feel about like fan stuff happening to the different shows you worked on, like nerdcore music, you know, songs about anime, rapping about stuff like that, like I do? How do you feel about that?
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, anytime anybody gets to spin off of something that's already there and make it your own passion, that's beautiful. And the more of that that can happen, the better for everyone.
You know, I think it's really cool, and good on you for doing it.
All right, Rimuru and Milanova.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello? Oh crap. This is just a quick question about the upcoming movie.
Mm-hmm.
Since obviously you guys are probably going to be working on it, is there any, like, I'm a little nervous. like fun? Is there going to be any fun interactions between Rimuru and Malim in the movie at all?
I mean, better be. We can hope so. And the movie isn't out yet. We can't dub it until it comes out in Japanese. And I honestly don't know for sure if we will be dubbing it because we don't ever know until they schedule us for it. I believe in my heart of hearts that it will be dubbed because we've dubbed everything else. And I know that they announced that they're doing a theatrical release for it. So it will at least be in theaters subbed. I hope it will be in theaters dubbed. The only thing I know about it is that one, Malim is in the previews, so I will be in it. Not that I've been looking for that. But it's about Benimaru's brother. So ladies and men, if you're into this, there's a new hot ogre coming.
It's not a soft body.
So that's all I know about it. Thank you. Rimuru!
Malim, I've been dying to know. Did you know that you were under the spell with the necklace or not?
I'm pretty smart. So, this is all just part of my plan to get my bestie to Resty to be a demon lord with me.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, this is actually, Malim did orchestrate all of that. You read the light novel.
Which is so diabolical.
It is really me.
Malim's like, oh, whatever, humans. It's a few.
I knew. It was 10,000 humans in the grand scheme of things.
It's over 9,000.
When you're 2,000 years old, I guess you would think that way.
Yeah. No, Malim did know, you know, so, yeah. But so did Vildora.
I feel like everyone knew but Rimuru.
Yeah. He's just so trusting. I like that he's like, Malim would never act this way unless she was under a spell.
Rimuru was trusted. I think that because of those events, Rimuru lost the last bit of humanity that was in there. I don't think there's any left.
God, he looks so cool now with his like demon lord outfit.
I know, no, really,
It's
legit.
legit.
Very nice.
Thank you for your question, bestie. Corey.
Hello.
Hello.
So I have.
You got this.
This is the worst.
I believe in you.
I got this. So, from a training or from an actual role that you booked, has there been a character or role or something that has really pushed you and shaped you as a performer, or is it something that you were struggling with and then a role helped you work through performance-wise, if you couldn't understand what their motivation was or something like that?
Oh, that's such a good question.
And it can be from, like I said, professional in training, if you were studying, if you from theater, whatever.
I feel like there's always, I feel like as an actor, you should always be learning. You should always be honing your craft. You should be absorbing new things. And no matter how long you've been doing it, you should always be coming up with something different and something new. If not, then you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And then are you really acting? You're just being you. So I do feel like you should at least once or twice a year have one of those moments. And I feel like if you're doing it to the best of your ability, you probably have those moments once or twice a week. If you're doing a simuldub, you know.
Depending on the character.
Yeah, it depends on what it depends on what type of show it is and how long you spent with that character. But even though, you know, for example, Pocono Misaka with Railgun, I'm all of the Misakas, which was really fun because in the Japanese they did different people for every Misaka. But whenever they were casting, they said, well, this doesn't make sense. If they're clones of each other, they should have the same vocal cords. Which I was like, awesome. So I get to be all these different versions of Misaka. But, you know, even though I had been doing that role for some, I guess, 15 years or something insane like that, recently when we did a certain scientific accelerator, there was a new Misaka in there. And then when we did Railgun T, which stands for 3, there was a new clone that has a completely different character type. And so the challenge for that would be to still be the character, same vocal cords, different character type. And how do I differentiate between two characters that are of the same
age range. So Last Order was the same age range as Dolly. And then, so the challenge in that would be, and we did this at home, and we edited it ourselves because this was the beginning of the pandemic. So it was a lot of things thrown in. And I was in my closet, and it was soundproofed by all of my Remarus. I have a lot of them. It was really good soundproofing. I'm just saying, all my plushies were behind me for the longest. Not anymore. But
That's actually adorable.
yeah, I had all my plushies there. They were with me. But yeah, so
moral support.
Yeah, so like for example, for this character, which I've been doing forever, the way that we differentiated the voice was that I decided that Last Order is very mature, but sounds very immature. And that Dolly was very immature, but is going to sound more mature. That's kind of where we went with it, so we could make them sound different. But yeah, so I feel like you should be doing that a lot, because you should always be getting better. Or trying to.
The first time I really remember struggling with a character in the booth was Reen on New Game. Reen was, when we auditioned for New Game, I didn't pick her. I picked 3 other characters, and the director asked me to read for Reen. And I hadn't really read over her side, so I had to like read over them real quick, and I read for Reen, and I got cast. Reen was my first kind of like soft motherly character, because up until that point I had only played like really spunky, like happy-go-lucky characters, and I'd never had to play something more subdued. And I remember the first session I had for her, I laughed and I was like, I am going to get recast. I was certain. I was like, the director regrets everything. I just know it. I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this character type. But we got to know her, and once I could really figure out Reen, now I could do Reen in my sleep. Which is funny because Reen is a motherly character, and I am a mom. You'd think I would be good at it, but obviously I'm a really immature mom. So, but what's funny about that is that now I play tons of characters like Reen, and so like unlocking Reen kind of unlocked this new character type for me, and I play a lot more characters like that. Characters like Cinco or Alice from Duke of Death and His Maid. So Reen was kind of the unlocking of that character type for me, and I didn't realize it was something that I was going to have trouble accessing it until I was in the booth. So yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate
Thank you. We got about 15 minutes left, so we're going to try to go through this and get everybody.
Hello?
Hello.
First convention.
Welcome! Everybody give her a welcome applause. Yay!
Okay, so I have a couple of things to say before my question. First off, I first heard about the time I got reincarnated as a slime from a friend of mine. I had just gotten into isekai, and that, along with other works like Made in Abyss, Rising of the Shield Hero, actually inspired me to want to make shows of my own. So I'm trying to get into the business, and mostly because. And what I like about Rising of the Shield Hero that in action in high fantasy that it actually humanizes and gives depth of character to many races, such as the goblins and the orcers that normally in the past got such a bad rap, and it actually introduced me to one of my most favorite characters that I was thinking about coming to this convention as, Beth Renato from Critical Role.
Oh, nice!
And yeah, so my question is, out of all the, what are your most favorite and most least favorite tropes in isekai, and are there any ideas for isekai that could actually improve upon the genre, upon your opinion?
I have an idea for an isekai called Truck Coon Gets Isekai'd. So what happens is Truck Coon is driving along, being a truck, he's just isekai'd somebody, so he's going about his day. All of a sudden, bam, train, didn't see it coming. And then he's reincarnated as a cat girl. And he's like, oh, so this is what I've been doing all this time. But he doesn't have any special powers. He's just a cat girl. He doesn't have a supercomputer or anything else because he's being punished for all his truckly deeds. So,
Does he have a cat tree?
a cat tree.
And is it magical?
I think he has to earn it.
Okay.
You know, because he can't be OP.
Can I be the cat tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to be the train?
I want to be the tree.
So that is my grand idea. Look forward to that coming out sometime in the future.
I can't wait to make the noises whenever Truck Coon scratches me. It's gonna be really fun.
Yes, sentient cat tree.
Like just in abysmal pain.
Listen, you guys think I'm joking, but I'm an artist and a writer. I can make this happen.
I'm expecting
It'll be called I used to do the isekai, but now I, Truck Coon, have been isekai. Comma, oh no.
And the magical cat tree.
And his magical cat tree. Yes. That was a great question.
Yes, thank you.
What is your question?
Have you seen Isekai Quartet? And if you have, would you love it if reincarnated slime characters appeared in that show?
I think it's really silly when anyone asks if I want more work.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. I don't know if it will be because I think they're all by like the same company, and I think Slime is by a different company, so I don't know if it'll ever happen. But I would absolutely be thrilled about it. I would love to see them in on that insanity that is that show.
Every now and then we get really fun crossovers, so we can always hope.
Yeah. But yeah, the answer to your question is we always want to do more. Forever and ever.
Yes.
Yes.
I love you too.
All right, my question is, on certain shows, like back in the Railgun series, you were dubbed the nickname Zapper. Is there any nicknames throughout the series from either of you that have stuck with you throughout the time?
For Slime?
For any show in general, yeah.
My daughter calls Rimuru Blubby. I thoroughly enjoy it, though she hasn't watched the show, but there's a little too much violence. I realized at the point when the dire wolf gets water-bladed that this probably might not be for a 7-year-old. Actually, when I went to record that, he was like, oh my god, cute puppy! And then it was like, head gone. And I was like, oh. Awkward. So yeah.
I think the only thing that's really stuck is Besties for Resties. That was a thing I wrote into the script. It was not in the trans. The trans says, we're not friends, we're besties. And I remember thinking like, well, besties is kind of a slang word. Malene wouldn't know that word because that's Earth slang and she's not from Earth. And I was like, but if I have Rimuru say it first, then she can pick it up from him. And so he goes, hey everyone, we're best friends, is what's in the translation and the subtitles. And because he's Rimuru, I was like, I can have fun with it. So I wrote Besties for Resties, and it was really easy for everyone to chant like, Besties for Resties, Besties for Resties.
Besties for Resties.
Yeah, you guys should do it, that would be great. and that really stuck in a way I did not expect. And now I always call Brittney my bestie for Restie. So yeah.
One of the best ones.
Yeah, that's the only one I can really think of, because I wrote it.
I do. No, we both call Ranga puppers.
Yeah, puppers.
Yeah.
There's a whole special feature where we just talk about his feet. And that they smell like Fritos.
Now that he's gotten so big, I feel like the dog breath has probably got to be kind of gross.
No.
You know, it's just
No.
a little bit of puppy breath is cute, but he's
bury
huge.
my face in his fur.
Ugh, it would be like being in Houston.
Terrifying. That was a great question. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Hello.
Hello. So, across both of your wonderful careers, what are your favorite sort of cute girl voice characters?
Our cute, oh my god, I freaking love Bo Fury. It's all about girls playing games, and we call it, a lot of people call it Girl Shield Hero, or Cute Shield Hero, or Shield Hero Chan. I love Go Fury. You're in Go Fury too. And it's getting
Holiday is a sweet theme.
Yeah.
Sweetest little boy.
I like that one. I like any cute girls doing cute things genres. So New Game, Go Fury, Laid Back Camp.
My all-time favorite cute girl is Wendy from Fairy Tale. But it's because she's so wholesome and sweet and made of sugar. And the only character that I even have besides her that is that sweet is Yachi from Haikyuu. Other than that, there isn't one. They're all like devious and evil in some way, or like Reefle from Claymore, and you're like, oh, she was really evil. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I would say probably her. Yuki from School Live is also quite adorable, but it's really sad.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, my question is, what if, this is more like a theoretical question or opinion, how you want to take it. What if Rimuru and Emily were suddenly isekai'd into a different world? What world would you two choose and why?
I want Rimuru to take Malik to Japan. That would be awesome.
It would be, they would be isekai into this new world, and there would be this cat girl in his magical cat tree. Yes. And you'd be like, I used to be a truck. And they'd be like, sure, buddy. Yeah.
The cat tree would only scream whenever it got scratched.
Rimmer would be like, your voice sounds kind of familiar, but I can't put my fingertip on it.
You haven't heard Rimuru in total agony yet, so I think that's why you've never heard Rimuru in that much pain.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
All right, my question really was what isekai, the world currently that's out right now that you two would want to be transferred to.
Oh, you have faith in my truck crew novel?
Well, I do have faith. I'm just curious on that.
So currently existing isekais. There's so many.
They're all so violent. I don't know about this.
Maybe Maiden Abyss. It'd be neat to see them in Maiden Abyss. It's not an isekai per se.
What would Rimuru turn into in the 6th layer? Where do you go from
He
that?
just is human.
It just stays a slime because the slime isn't effective.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I bet Rimuru could say anything.
Last question.
Hey, I was just wondering if you ever go to Japan or talk to the Japanese actress that does the same role.
Have we ever met our Japanese counterparts?
I did meet the seiyuu for Rimuru. It was fantastic.
What?
And
You told me this.
I did. She was in Hawaii.
I thought we were besties.
The first year, I think it was the second time that I had been to KawaiiCon. She was at KawaiiCon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I didn't have like a way to actually meet her, and it was on a time that it was in between my scheduling. So I waited just in her line, and I was trying to talk to her, but the translator wasn't there, and so she just, I don't think she knew what I was saying, but I was just excited to see her and meet her. She was very lovely, and I got an autograph.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's great.
The only Japanese seiyuu I have met for me was the seiyuu for Alice from Duke of Death and Her Maid. We did an AMA together. So it was like virtual. Her name is Mano-san. We're friends on Twitter now. She was really sweet, and it was such a lovely experience. I've never got to do it before. It was so cool hearing about her experiences of being cast in the show, and it was her first lead role. So she's like, I cried, and she's just an incredibly sweet and very talented person, and that was really neat. I hope we get to do more things like that. So.
It would be cool if like programming, like Crunchyroll and stuff would get the
Us all
seiyus
together?
out with the God. It was so neat.
It was great. It was
Just
wonderful.
dreaming out loud.
Thank you. All right, so we are 1 minute till our time. So we are going to, I'm going to head back to my table. I think we technically have a break. Besties. Do you guys want to do a quick video?
Sure.
I was thinking it would be really neat if we did a video that I could put on Twitter where we shout, Besties for Resties. Besties for Resties. Yeah? All right, hold on, let me get ready.
All right.
I'm not ready yet. Here, hold on. All right, what I'm gonna do is I think you should lead it. You should say like, hey everyone, we're Besties for Resties, and then they can start chanting Besties for Resties. All right, here we go. Video. Oh wait. Okay. Ready?
Okay, my guys, let's go! Besties for Resties! 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 Besties for Resties!
You guys are absolutely amazing. We're gonna go back to our table. We're gonna send autographs. If you come to my table, I draw all of my own artwork, so you can come get some Malim art. You can get our autographs if you want. That'd be great.
Come see us, you guys. Thank you for coming.
You guys are so amazing. Thank you